Hatzegopteryx was potentially the largest and the heaviest creature to have ever flown. With a wingspan of 10 to 12 meters, a similar wingspan to most single-engine Cessnas, and with a height of 5 meters, it would have been a horrifying sight. With those monstrous proportions, Hatzegopteryx would have probably been the apex predator of Hatzeg Island. But the question could be, what led Hatzegopteryx, a pterodactyl, to be the apex predator of Hatzeg Island? First, we need to discuss the very unique case that is Hatzeg Island. Hatzeg Island is one of the largest islands in the Tethys Sea that was once covering modern-day Europe during the late Cretaceous. The remnants of Hatzeg Island is now located in Romania, near the town of the same name, in the county of Hondora. I definitely butchered the name. This island has been estimated to be between the size of Sicily, 26,000 kilometers square, and Taiwan, 36.2 thousand kilometers square, with a tropical climate. All the dinosaurs on this island seem to have suffered from island syndrome. This syndrome appears as a consequence of specific environmental pressures, a lack of predators, and a limited amount of resources. Large herbivores become smaller in a process called insular dwarfism, while small creatures can become larger and fulfill roles that they would not naturally fulfill in other environments. For example, the largest herbivore would be Magisaurus, a member of the titanosaur family. Titanosaurs are famous for their exorbitant size, and yet the estimation for an adult are not glorious. The biggest specimens are estimated at 6 meters long, 5 meters tall, and weighing up to 1 ton. Another famous line of large herbivores would be hadrosaurs. On Hatzeg Island, the hadrosaur measured only 5 meters and weighed 60 kilos. Delmatosaurus is really small for a hadrosaur. Well, the largest dinosaur predator we suspect was a dromaeosaur. Dromaeosaurs tend to be small with some very specific exceptions, but this one was about 2 meters long. It is on the larger side of dromaeosaurs, but more recent studies point out that it is probably closer to most modern-day birds. We're not even sure if it was a hypercarnivore. It could have been a herbivore, an omnivore. We are not even sure about its diet. Other than dinosaurs, the island was also home to several mammals, lizards, early birds, crocodilians, crocodilomorph, along with some pterosaurs. So now that we understand that the fauna was relatively small compared to other locations around the world, we have to look at the pterosaurs and ask what led them to be so big at the end of the Cretaceous. We're not sure what led pterosaurs to be so big. We just know that they grew large. We have several working theories. The most common theory at the moment is that by now, early birds have evolved, and those early birds possibly have outcompeted the smaller pterosaur, meaning if pterosaurs didn't want to go extinct, they had to find a different niche. One of the ways they found a different niche is by evolving bigger to find a different position in the ecosystem. This competition is possibly what led to the evolution of large pterosaurs such as Hatzegopteryx, as we're discussing now, the similar size Quetzalcoatl, and the even bigger Arambourgiania. God bless that I can add subtitles so that you could at least understand what I'm trying to say. But for a while, we had no idea what role a giant pterosaur would fill in the ecosystem. We thought it would fill the same role as a vulture and occasionally be a hunter on small prey by picking them up and dropping them from the sky, but we weren't 100% sure. For a while, we thought they were too large, too clumsy to be able to do anything on the ground. And because they lacked teeth and claws, we suspected that they couldn't efficiently hunt like dinosaurs or crocodilians. But more recent studies on footprints of dinosaurs coming from China, and more specifically large pterosaurs, revealed that they were surprisingly maneuverable on land and could potentially keep up with small prey, catch them. Biomechanical studies on the fossils of large pterosaurs, including Hatzegopteryx, have shown that they were capable of hunting like storks and precisely stabbing or impaling their prey. This led paleontologists to see in a different site giant pterosaurs as not just scavengers but also as potential hunters. These very unique circumstances around Hatzeg Island, relatively small herbivores, lack of large predators, potentially competitors to Hatzegopteryx, led to some very, very unique circumstances in which led large pterosaurs to be the apex predator of an environment. I want to thank everybody who sat through this short video and wish you a good day or a good evening.